meeting with the guys after everything this year? Kind of obviously a crazy year.
Yeah, I mean, a different year. We're obviously sitting here at this point in the year is definitely not satisfying, and it's something that we can hope that will change for next year. But under the circumstances, I feel like we got a lot accomplished. I feel like we learned a lot, but in the same breath, I know we can be better. And meeting with all the guys, it was kind of bittersweet because it's always good to see them. And I thought that they tried to do everything that we asked them to do this year in a short amount of time, but obviously it didn't work out the way we wanted it to. But in the same breath, it's good to meet with them, to tell them thank you, and also to tell them or talk to them about their plans in the summertime and what we think that they can continue to do to help improve themselves, which will help improve the team, and tell them we're looking forward to seeing them not only in the summertime but next year to get after this thing again.
You had to change the culture of a team, not from a loser to a winner, but from an offense that had won basically 5 championships to your way of doing things. How do you feel about that?
I felt like the guys responded well. I mean, there was a learning curve for both myself and the staff, and obviously a learning curve for the players. But I thought we both tried to get to learn one another as quickly as possible and as best as possible in order to have this team have some success. So. Again, I thought it went as best as it could.
Are you sensing big changes to the roster for the offseason?
I don't know. That's something that Mitch and Jim Buss have to deal with, and in time after I've had a chance to get away from it and reflect or whatever, if they want my opinion, I'll give my 2 cents.
The controversies that this club went through this year with Meta, with Andrew, and different things. From your experience about working in other cities and for other organizations, was there more focus placed on it because it was the Lakers, or was it focus placed on it because it was, just as controversial as people seem to think it was?
No doubt, because it's the Lakers. I mean, I've been. I mean, I love Pop. I love the Spurs, except for when we play them. I hope we kick their behind. But I mean, they went through some stuff my three years there that if it was L.A., I mean, everybody would be like, oh, wow, and it could have been a story or should have been a story. But because it's San Antonio, because they got 2 beat writers and both those beat writers work for the same newspaper, it doesn't get out, And same in Cleveland. I mean, we had our fair share of ups and downs, and sometimes it might have touched the local media, but very seldom did it get to a point where it was national media. But that's part of who the Lakers are. That's part of their brand. It's a national team. They have a national following, and you come to accept it, and you come to kind of embrace it, and it's part of the culture. But I tell you what, at first, at times, it was a little different for me.
You sure seemed to adjust to it quickly. You didn't seem to ever, publicly go crazy or get mad, or I don't know what you did behind doors, but you seem like you adjusted to it pretty well.
Yeah, no, you know what? Other than the fact that my kids wanted to leave me and my wife wanted to divorce me at times, I think no, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. No, you know what? I thought Mitch was good. I felt like I had a lot of guys that walked me through this stuff. Mitch was good, and obviously I got a terrific wife, and the players were good. I thought Kobe was good. So it took a little bit of adjusting for me because obviously I hadn't been in a market like this before. But at the end of the day, people are people, and you just kind of move on, and as long as you're as truthful as you can and you're working hard, there's not much other stuff you have control over, and you respect that people have jobs to do just like you do too, and you kind of take that in stride.
Mike, you said the time will come where Mitch and Jim will ask for your 2 cents on some of the roster conversation. I know you won't talk about specific players, but what would you like to see tweaked with this roster in terms of what would you like to see a little more of the adjustments during the offseason and personnel-wise?
Really, I mean, I haven't thought of that yet because literally starting yesterday, I didn't know the exit interview meetings were going to be this quick, but we literally got back. I got home at 3 in the morning, didn't fall asleep till 6, got up at 10 or 11, showered, and came in and started through this process. And it's kind of funny, but while we're going through this process with the players, I decided to have exit interviews with my coaches too. And, I got a staff of 30, so I'm in with Mitch and the players, and then I leave and I go grab one of my guys. And so I haven't had a ton of time to really digest and think about the direction that I would like to go with this team. I think obviously there's room for improvement in a lot of different areas. But at the end of the day, I like this team. I like the core of this team, and we had some good guys on the team that can help us win it. And you have a training camp together. You have a season where you can have some practices, and maybe some things are different. The two teams in the West that are still left. One we already talked about, the coaching staff and the players had been there since their 3 championships ago in 2003, and which is 9 years. And then the other team is their staff and players had been together for 3 to 4 years, and that makes a world of difference as long as you have talent and a good staff. And I think we have talent here, and I think our staff is going to work their tail off to try to compete and help these guys, put these guys in a position to win. So I haven't really specifically thought, we need more of this, we need more of that. Obviously, you could say, yeah, we need more shooting, we need more ball handling, we need more guys to be able to play pick and roll, we need this, but everybody can say that at the end of the year about their team.
Mike,
So.
after
Jay will be the last one after this.
after their exit meetings, we always inevitably end up asking them, what did you think of your season? How do you think it did? How would you evaluate, I guess, your own coaching performance this year?
Yeah, I feel like I could have done a lot better. The toughest part is, I'm not using this as an excuse because we had just as much time as everybody else, but I tell you, it was tough from the standpoint that you didn't get to practice the way you did, and we wouldn't have practiced that much harder because we have an older veteran team, and so I still need to be conscious of trying to not run those guys in the ground through the course of the regular season. But I know there were a lot of things that I felt rushed on that I kind of did on the fly based on the lack of time. And so to really give myself a true evaluation would be hard. I thought based on the circumstances, as a staff, I had a great staff. They helped out a lot. We did fairly well. But could we have done better? Yes, we could have done a lot better. And going through these last 2 playoff series against a team that you had to face as many times as we face these teams, game after game after game, really helped us learn ourselves and learn holes that we had and stuff that we can work on to be better prepared next year.
Mike, how were the Thunder, and to a degree the Nuggets, able to neutralize the size advantage?
But Jay, you ask any coach out there, especially any coach with bigs, and they'll tell you that and I've said it this many times before, the easiest position to take out of the game of basketball is a post-up guy, and because everything is so everybody. Even from the 5th grade on down, maybe even younger, you work on double teaming the post because it always seems like there's going to be one school that has a kid that's 6'7" in the 5th grade, and you got to figure out how to double team them. And so you talk about rotations and all that other stuff back then. But when a guy has a basketball and he's out on the perimeter and he's got quickness and athleticism and length and speed and all that stuff, when you go out there and you start trying to double team him or chase him out there, it leaves so much space open behind you around the basket that now you're giving up dunks and layups. And, when you double team the post, you're still protecting the paint because everything is tighter. So, they basically, Denver did a terrific job of double teaming the post and forcing our guys to make shots. And I mean, you think about Game 7 when we finally did make shots. The shots we had in Game 7, we had the whole series, and they were literally wide open shots where you go out in the gym and you say, okay, hey, let's play a horse and let's shoot this shot, because they wanted to take certain things away from us in the post. But just in Game 7, we were knocking down those shots, so it looked like, you know, our game plan was awesome. Our game plan was the same basically almost every other game, except we weren't making shots. And against the Thunder, I thought Perk did I told Kendrick Perkins this, and everybody talks about Durant and everybody talks about Westbrook and now Harden, and nobody talks about, to me, who the heart and soul is of their team, which is Kendrick Perkins. Without Kendrick Perkins, I think they're a lot different team. But he did a terrific job of working his tail off, especially in the fourth quarter, of fronting Andrew. And then when we swung the ball, he moved his feet and he went behind them and he three-quartered them, and I thought he frustrated not only Andrew but our entire team of trying to get him the ball. And then when the shot went up, he was just as physical as anybody in terms of boxing Andrew out and not allowing him to come up with any rebounds. And same with the rest of their guys. So their athleticism, their size, and their determination, their work ethic or whatever, it all paid off in that series. But having said all that, I mean, the series really could have gone either way. I thought there were, two games that we lost, we had control of the entire game until the last 3 minutes of the fourth. And again, that part of that comes down to you got to give Oklahoma City credit for who they are and what Scott Brooks told them and taught them and all that other stuff. But I think part of it too has to do with us being relatively new and not having quite the feel that they have with each other and what you want to do going down the stretch in tight games in that environment.